And all right, so I'm going to say congratulations to everybody that got on this call, because you are already investing in your time. You are investing in your energy. You are making the best decisions for you and your family already. You have no choice but to win, because these calls is strategically designed to help empower you and to help you get a great ROI, a great return on your investment. What we are doing is bigger than us. This is for our children's children's children. And if you ain't down for the family, if you ain't down for the children, you might as well go ahead and get off this call, because that's what we are here about. I don't know. I'm just having this feeling of not even playing around anymore. I'm passionate about this. This is what we are here to do. We are here to do this for our people. So before I just keep going on and on with my rant, I'm going to go ahead and introduce the man with the plan. He is a transformational master educator. He is a life and a business coach. He has already helped over 15 touch a meal. He is a financial investor, a private money broker, financial advisor. I'm talking about, I can go on and on, community and land developer. I'm talking about, he ain't new to this. He is true to this. He is my king. He is my everything. Martin Christopher Glenn.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my beautiful wife, for that great introduction. Thank everybody for being here on these weekly calls that we have. You know, it's good sometimes to see, and anybody that knows Sabrina knows, you know, she's just a passionate person. And, you know, and that's how we have to be. We have to be passionate about the things that we love. And so this organization, this company, Masternomics, that's what it's about. It's about personal development and professional development. That's right, Brittany. Passion is necessary for change. That's so true. You think about the greatest people, they're very passionate, because you have to affect one another and affect our lives. So Masternomics is about us, personal development, professional development, self-mastery. So in self-mastery, you're mastering yourself. Like Sabrina said, this is not just about business tips, but then again, it is about business, right? Because family is business, right? And love is law, right? And so we say, may we be guided by the law of love to govern our family finances. May we be guided by the law of love to govern our family finances. So if we look at that, then we can govern our life and we can govern our loved ones. So finance is very important. We're talking about economic empowerment. We're talking about financial stability. We're talking about financial freedom. We're talking about the things that are affecting us, the most things that are affecting this planet right now. We're talking about food, right? We're talking about, you know, food shortages. We're talking about the education system. We're talking about poverty being created. Now, we're not talking about these things to scare you, but this is a reality, right? And so when times of change, you're either gonna move or you're gonna get moved on, right? And so this class particularly is called You Have More Than Enough. So when I talk to people, and I talk to people that's going through financial challenges, financial situations, shifts, guess what? Everyone is, right? Everyone is dealing with movement and shifts, right? Challenges are part of our existence. The successful people understand there is more than enough of whatever you want, okay? Whatever you want, there's more than enough. If you want money, there's more than enough money, right? If whatever it is that you want, we're not lacking in that. What people are lacking is knowing the techniques and understanding of how to get what we want, right? And so that's what we delve into. We don't just talk about problems, it's about solutions. You know, it's all about solutions with us. It's all about solutions with me. Yeah, I'm not just get on here bragging, I've done this, I've done that. How can I affect the world with what I've learned? That's why I started this company, right? And so that's what we're dealing with today. Let someone in, right? And so you have more than enough. It's that simple. You got more than enough to get started, right? Being an entrepreneur, we've always dealt with people that tell us You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. There's not enough money. There's not enough time. No one's going to support you. And that's a lie. And so if you're in your business today, you know because you got started. But some of us are trying to get to the next level and we don't want to get started. We don't want to move, but there's more than enough of whatever you need. It's a law. It's a law of abundance, right? So get started. It could be investing. Think about all the problems of the world. Think about the problems that are happening and going to happen. Where are you in? What have you invested in? Right? What have you invested in to take your life to the next level? Right? Think about that. So I love Booker T. Washington because he had a saying. He said, drop your buckets where you stand. What he meant was, wherever you at, drop your bucket and let's get to it. Get you a shovel. We're going to go to work right here. We're not going to wait for anybody. We're going to get it done right here and now. So start from where you are. A lot of us look at things, whether it's business, whether it's money, where we want to go, and we say, we make it like it's so hard, like it's so far away. But you got to start where you are at. Okay? When I'm always giving people financial information, I always say, know your numbers. What are your numbers? They're your numbers. Know your numbers, right? You know your expenses, know your family expenses, know your business expenses, right? It starts with you. I'm me and you're you. This guy is that guy and this person is that person. Everyone has to know where they're at. You have to start where you are, right? And get to where you're going, but you got to know where you're at, okay? There is and was somebody in a worse situation than you are. That statement is very powerful. I'll tell you why. Because sometimes in business as an entrepreneur, you feel like you're at the bottom. You're like, why? Why is this not working for me? You know, why is this so hard? But once you realize there's somebody in a worse situation than you are, okay? There's somebody that was in a worse situation than you are, and now they're massively successful because they did not quit. There's power in that statement, okay? There's power in that because I don't care how bad it seems, there's somebody in a worse situation, right? So you got to deal with whatever cards you was dealt, deal with them, right? Don't make excuses. These are all self-mastery tips and information that's going to get you to the next level. I always tell people, you can read a million books about money. You can learn this and that and where to move money, and they'll tell you to invest in stock. Before they were telling you stocks, then they told you cryptocurrency, then they're telling you this and that. They can tell you all of that. But how do I keep this thing going? How do I create wealth? It starts with this internal stuff. Because if you can't be disciplined and you can't have some passion, you can't have some desire, you can throw all that out the window. You can be a straight A student, but that ain't going to get you there, right? So it's about the internal information. It's not what others believe about you that matters. What matters is what you believe about yourself. That's from Reverend Ike. It's not what others believe about you that matters. What matters is what you believe about yourself. That's the key. That's the key for you as an entrepreneur. That's the key for you if you're the person who wants to start the business. You know, if you still got a job, that's fine. But if you're going to have a business on the side, or if you're going to take this money from your employer and create freedom, you're going to utilize them to free yourself, right? Don't worry about what everybody else thinks about you. What do you think about you? Right? Think about this. Outside of money, all you think about yourself way more than you know. If I was to take a picture of everybody right here, and I'll get ready to, and I share with y'all the picture, who's the first person you're going to look for in the picture? Yourself, right? You worried how you look, you worried about this and that. So don't worry about other people. You worry about yourself. What do you think about yourself? right? Don't worry if somebody says, oh, she can't do hair. She can't be a photographer. She can't have her own insurance company. They can't have a tax company. We ain't worried about them. They ain't paying your bills. What do you think about yourself? Do you believe in yourself? That's the key. This is the key. The most important belief is self-belief, right? The most important belief is self-belief. How do you see yourself? When somebody says, man, I ain't got nothing, I'm poor, I'm broke. That is so important and critical, and it reflects in their life. When somebody uses those words, I'm poor, I'm broke, I don't have, I'm lacking, I'm ugly, I'm fat, you're speaking that into existence, right? What do you believe about yourself? That's the key. What do you believe about yourself, right? People study everything outside of them, but don't study nothing on the inside of them. And so the next question is, what do you really know for sure? Think about that for a second. Like, what do you really know? In the first grade, they'll teach you something. And then by the 5th or 6th grade, that changes. If you ask, when I was in school, they said it was 9 planets. Now they're telling you there's really 10 or 11. Right? So this information that other people are giving us, I mean, that's going to change. But what do you know for sure? What do you absolutely know for sure? Anything outside of you, we might be debating all day. We can debate about religion. We can debate about interpretation of scripture. We can debate how somebody receives it. Somebody say this. But what do you know for sure? The one thing you know for sure is that you exist. I may not know it. I might be looking at a hologramic image right now. But you know when you know you. But what do you really know about yourself? Right? Conscious. What are you really conscious of? Right? What's conscious? Be aware of and responding to one's surroundings. Awake. Right? Having knowledge of something. Being aware of and responding to one's surroundings. So we can talk about stock market crashing. We can talk about inflation. We can talk about the economy. We can talk about recession coming. We can talk about government shutdowns. But guess what? Are you aware, and how will you respond? That's what it's about. How do you respond to it, right? How do you respond? That's what separates successful from unsuccessful people. It's a response. Animals react, right? Thinking, intellectual, and spiritual beings respond. So when we're talking about this self-mastery, we're talking about taking your life to another level, becoming aware of things and responding to it. Become aware of where you're at and say, you know what? I need some financial literacy classes. I need to get a better understanding of it because I know life should be more than this, right? So the response is you investing your time. The response is you being on this meeting right here every week, right? You're responding to your surroundings. You're shifting, you're moving, you're doing something different. At the least, you just redundantly programming your subconscious mind, right? You got a good habit, as opposed to being on social media all day, giving you a scroll and doing this and giving your attention away to people that are wasting your time, right? So this is what we have to do. We have to become conscious and aware of what's happening in our lives, right? Use what you got to get what you want. I know some of y'all heard that in a different context, but the statement is true, right? It's true. You know, people say, man, I want to do this and that, but I ain't got no money. Everybody always say what they don't got. Period. You know, if you ask somebody, why didn't you start that business? Man, you could cook good, you could do this and that. Why didn't you get started? I don't got. The first thing they tell you is what they don't have. People that understand money understand this. Now, you've been taught it takes money to make money, but it really takes ideas to make money. The right idea attracts money. People invest in good ideas, right? Think about it. So you got to use what you got to get what you want. What you got? You got a head, you got a mind, you got to think. You got to use your mind. You got to think, right? Use your mind more than you use your behind. See, some people take that and they want to use what they got, but they think that's all they got. I mean, hey, I'm on social media like everything. All I see is everybody like this, and they turn and they doing like that. They think that's all they got. That's why they're getting them poor results. But if you use this a little more, you probably get some better results. You know, they probably would, you know. I know that don't apply to nobody on here, but we just talking. So if you use what you got, you can get what you want. In other words, if you use your head, right? If we use these higher mental faculties, see, this is what people don't use. These are the gifts, right? When they say, what are our gifts, right? What are our gifts from God? This is it right here. It's the imagination, right? People don't use their imagination, right? People not using their willpower. Y'all still laughing, but people not using their willpower, right? Intuition, memory, reasoning, perception, right? These are your higher faculties that you have to use to get what you want, right? See, just using the physical part of you is no different than an animal. It's no different than any other animal, right? And animals just survive. And so when you just use these physical parts, you are literally just on a survival mode. But beings, men or women, that want to thrive and create something over a period of time called wealth for not just themselves, but for their seeds, they use these gifts. These are the gifts of God, right? These are what separates us from the animals. Your imagination, your will, your intuition, your memory, your reasoning, perception, right? You can think what you want. It's an imagination. You can be creative, right? But think about when people are broke, you create ways to make money. That is a higher mental faculty. A dog or cat ain't gonna do nothing but be at your door whining for somebody to give them something to eat. There's no reason why humans should be living like that. Whether it's depending on any, knocking at the neighbor's door or at the government with a handout or complaining, hoping that, they sign a bill that's going to give us some money. We got to be creative, right? So what we have is enough. If you've got these mental faculties, that is enough to get what you want, right? It takes will, okay? These are the higher mental faculties that will get you the things that you want, right? This makes people move, right? Desire is a requirement for success. Most people do not know what they want. Therefore, they're not desiring anything. And you could ask them, and their life is just mundane. It's just floating. Well, what you want? I ain't sure. How much money you like to make? I don't really know. Right? So you don't have anything, and you're not desiring anything, so you can't be successful. Things start off as just desire, then they transfer to aspiration. But it starts with desire first, right? This is a requirement for success. It's a requirement. You cannot be successful without some desire. Because you got to want to do more and better than what you're doing. And I don't care how successful anybody is on here, you can do better than what you're doing. Right? And you know it. That's the thing. You know it. I know it. When I look in the mirror, you know what I say? Man, you could do better. And I'm a harsh critic of myself. Probably ain't a class that I do. I said, man, you could have done better, you know. Could have hit harder, right? Because I desire to be the best version of myself. And so you have to desire to be the best version of yourself. Not desire to be Susie Q or this one you see on TV or whoever your mentor is. We take the information from the mentors and the great teachers, but you got to see yourself as successful, right? And what you got is more than enough to get started, right? I don't care when I talk about investing or land and this and that. Trust me, I wasn't born with a silver spoon, as they say, right? What I did have was a lot of love from parents that loved me and nurtured me with what they had. They gave me the best that they had, right? And so all of us have something, you know, even for those that have problems or issues with their parent, you had a parent, you had there was somebody that influenced you. So we can't make excuses. Use whatever you got and move on in life, right? Because there's always somebody that's in a worse situation, and there's somebody that's in a better situation than you now, but they was in a worse situation, but they got started and they used whatever they had, right? So these are the keys to becoming financially free and taking your life to the next level. So when we're talking about using what we have, it's an understanding of a law, right? We talk on here a lot about universal laws. Universal laws are, right? Does not matter, whatever your belief system. Universal laws are laws of the universe that govern us. One of them is the law of abundance, right? Law of abundance says there's ample energy, and people put it in money because money is energy. There's ample energy.
Go in my Zoom.
Somebody hit mute, please. But there's ample energy or money for everyone who knows how to acquire it and keep it. So think about that. There's ample energy or money for everyone who knows how to acquire it and keep it, right? There's money out there, but you got to know how to acquire it, and you got to know how to keep it, right? When we study Black people in America, we are the #1 consumers. We consume. We're not short on money, we're short on production. But we have no problem with consumption, all right? So the law of abundance says we live in an abundant universe in which there is sufficient money for all who really want it and are willing to obey the laws governing its acquisition. Think about it. There is sufficient money for all who really want it and are willing to obey the laws governing its acquisition. A lot of people say, man, there ain't no money, there ain't this or that. You know how many grants there are for the business that you're in, right? You have to be willing, you got to want it and be willing to gain the knowledge to acquire this money, right? You think somebody's gonna knock on your door and just give you some money? No, that's not how things work. It's not how the universe works, right? God provides for us. Gave you land, you know, people say they're hungry, but they ain't never planted nothing in the ground, right? Gave you everything you needed. You got more than enough, right? So our problem is acquiring the knowledge to acquire what we want, right? This is where we come in, right? We want to teach you how to acquire the things that you want, right? To acquire the things that you want, right? So money. People say, well, ain't no money. Look at this. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing produces 38 million notes a day with a face value of approximately $541 million being printed every day. $541 million is printed every day. But why do people say there ain't no money? Right? How do you get this money? You think they're gonna blast it on TV? Right? No, you got to learn how to acquire it. The money is there. It's like going to a bank. The bank has money. They make money off of loaning money. So don't think the bank don't want to give you money. Guess what? You got to learn, you got to acquire that knowledge. How do I get this money out of here? Now, it is uncomfortable, some of the situations. You got to shift. You got to get your credit right. You got to do this. You got to have a business plan. But guess what? If you want it, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to do the things to get what you want? Because most people do not know this. They'll say, well, we're trillions of dollars in debt in this country. You know why? Right here it's telling you they printing $541 million a day. Right? But there's only 1% is controlling all of this. So they're utilizing this money that's being printed. And they're taking this money that's producing inflation, but guess what they're doing? They're buying real assets with it. They're buying land, right? What are we doing with it? We're consuming. We ain't investing and we ain't producing nothing, right? So we have not because we ask not, right? And we don't want to do the work. We say we're faithful, but we don't want to do the work. So faith without works, you know, the rest is dead, right? Poverty can be unlearned and overcome not through government grants and welfare handouts, but through mind power. Through mind power, right? Why? Because poverty is a condition that's learned. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about so many of us have bought into poverty, right? That's back to what do you believe about yourself? If you say something, I'm poor, you're going to be poor, right? But if you read in the Bible, it says, let the weak say I am strong. You speak it into existence and you will become it. So a lot of us, we have accepted this poverty mindset, right? And it's killing us. And it takes over our mind. And we start living a poverty lifestyle. We start living in dependency, right? When we was created to be caretakers, we were created to be rulers. We weren't created to just get handouts, right? So this is a mindset. So true entrepreneurship understands this. You understand there's universal laws, the laws of the universe that govern us, and then we live in an abundant universe, okay? Right? So we should not fall for the disease of poverty that is taught. Poverty is taught to people. They teach people to be dependent, right? And it's no coincidence, they're teaching you to be dependent, right? Liabilities, not knowing what an asset and a liability is. Liabilities go a lot of different ways. They go in life and they go in business. So a liability, a person or a thing whose presence or behavior is likely to cause embarrassment or put one at a disadvantage. So a person or a thing that puts you at a disadvantage. Hold on to that. A person or a thing that puts you at a disadvantage, right? So when we get money, and I'm talking about Black people, what's most of us do when we get rich? We go buy a car, right? It's not an asset, it's a liability. It starts to put you in a disadvantage. You're buying something that does not appreciate. So the value does not go up. The moment you drive the car, the value starts to go down. You put more miles on it. It's a machine. Trust me, they design these things to break down. This is what it is, right? So it's putting you at a disadvantage. Why? Because the nice car costs $50,000 plus. So you got $50,000 of bad debt on your credit, right? You are immediately at a disadvantage in this society. Why? Because they say your debt to your income ratio is all out of whack. You got way more debt than what you're making. Bro, you owe $60,000, but you're only making, $40,000 a year, right? Now, that puts you at a disadvantage, right? And we'll get into what an asset puts you at an advantage because you can leverage it, right? So if you have something that appreciates like land, like real estate, right? It has a value that goes up. Why? How many cars do they make in this country? I do not know. You can imagine how many millions, right? When one breaks down, what do they do? Make another one, right? Okay. How much land can they make? Thank you. They ain't making no more land. They didn't make the land, right? So the value of land is going to constantly go up. These are things that you should be putting your money into that give you an advantage in life. Things that have value, right? Liability, the state of being responsible for something. So think about those two definitions. One of them, a person or thing that puts you at a disadvantage. Liability could be the person you're dating, could be that poor business partner, could be the person that's mismanaging your company, could be the person that's supposed to be doing whatever for your company. They could be a liability. Because if you're paying them and they're not doing what they're supposed to do, they're a liability, right? It could be, that's why it says a person or thing. As entrepreneurs, you have to be able to identify your assets and your liabilities. Most of us are crippled because we don't want to acknowledge our liabilities. Sometimes it's us, because we can be our own worst enemy trying to do stuff. You think you can Google your way to success instead of getting an expert, right? These things put you at a disadvantage. So that's a liability in your life, right? What's an asset? A useful or valuable thing, a personal quality. A useful or valuable thing, personal quality. Something that is useful and valuable. Like I said, has value. 2, property owned by a person or company, regarded as having value and available to meet debts. The key word in both definitions is what? Value. Value. You add value to anything and it gets better, right? Worst thing you can do is take a course or go to college and go to school and they don't give you no value and you can't do nothing with it, right? So everything should add value. If it adds value, it's an asset. So think about what we talked about. That could be your partner, could be your business partner, whatever, husband, wife. They're not adding value to, they should add value to your life, right? Same thing with investments. One guy spends he signs his life on a $50,000-$60,000 bad investment, which is this nice car, but he only makes so much money, so his debt to income is out of whack. The other guy signs and he spends that same 50 or 60,000 on property that has value, and next year it could be worth more. And then when he puts some new paint on it, it goes more and more. The other guy, he bought the new Cadillac truck. He's paying a note on it, but then he painted it candy red because he wanted to be cool in the hood. But then, he put some rims on it. He's devaluing it. Do you see what I'm saying? See, it's understanding what's an asset and what's a liability. One guy bought something worth $60,000. He put paint on it and the value went down. That's the car. Well, sir, I mean, you're trying to trade it in, but it's got those rims. My clients, they don't want to look like they're from the hood. We're going to have to knock 5,000 off of the value for that. And you got 100,000 miles on it. The other guy spends the same $50,000, $60,000 on some property, right? He puts $5,000 paint job on this building. Now it's worth $80,000. It's understanding assets and liabilities, right? He got bad debt, he got good debt, right? Because it adds value, assets, liabilities, right? But this starts in here first, because before we get into the monetary investing, most of us have invested a lot of the wrong time in the wrong people that don't add value to our lives, right? So we got a lot of liabilities in our life, and a lot of those are the people that are around us sometimes, right? A lot of those are where we're putting our time and energy. Some of us become social media junkies, and that's a liability. It's eating up your time, right? You know, so we got to be able to understand assets, liabilities, right? Assets versus liabilities. Assets do what? They put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out. Just think of it that way. When you're making decisions, say, look, will this decision put money in my pocket? Or will it take money out of my pocket? Right? That's it. Assets, liabilities. You got to think about that. And before it becomes money, it can become your time. If I'm around this person, I'm giving them my time, right? And I always got to pay for everything. They always spending up everything. They always doing it. They don't add no value. That person is a liability. Right? I don't care how much money you got. You got to have enough sense to identify assets and liabilities, right? Doing these things, what I'm saying right now, don't cost no money. But most people say, man, I would do this, but I ain't got the money. The work you got to do is this. You got to work on yourself first, right? That is the most work that we have to do. If you work on yourself, you will have way more money than you got. You will have way more money than what you got. Think about what an accountability partner is, an asset in life. Getting a partner that's aligned with what you want and has your same values. You know, if you're, if you're family oriented and you want to create generational wealth, you want to have financial freedom, you want financial stability, you got to have the right partner, right? That's just time and energy. It ain't really even costing money. You know, they've got us equate everything to a dollar when the decisions that affect why we don't have dollars is based off of us. What have we done internally? What are we attracting, right? So that's why whatever you have is enough. You got to use this. You got to understand reasoning, logic, memory. Look at your experiences in life and say, how did I get here, right? Because you are liable for your liabilities. So everyone that's a liability in your life, everyone that ate up your time and you say, man, I blew money with this person, man, I did that, you're liable for it. Because a liability means you're responsible. Right? If you go to court right now and say, man, y'all just riding in the car, I didn't know the dude was gonna do this, right? They say, well, ignorance, there's no excuse in the law. You liable. Right? So all the liabilities in your life, you're liable for them. But I always say it's power in that because you have the ability to get rid of them. You have the ability to create assets in your life, right? And so that's what it's about, gaining assets with what you have now. And I'm telling you right now, you have more than enough to get started. You got more than enough to do whatever it is that you want to do. You want to be an investor, you want to get in real estate, you want to grow your business, you want to scale it, you have what it takes. But it's internal. What you need is internal, it's inside of you, right? You're gonna have to go to work on you. You're gonna have to do the homework, and can't nobody do it for you, right? Understanding assets, liabilities, and most importantly, understand you. Understand your ability, your imagination, intuition, the will, perception, memory, reasoning. Use your abilities, right? Use your gifts, right? The more you use them, you're going to be a quick thinker. They say the most successful people can make fast decisions. You know why? They can spot BS just like this. I listen to some people, I tell people, look, I get paid to read people for a living. Some people sit down, I'm looking at them like, this guy don't even believe me. He can just tell me the truth. You know, this is what I do all day. You see what I'm saying? So you got to work on you. You got more than enough, whatever you need. You got it inside. It's just the desire. If you want to change, if you want to shift, it's inside you, right? It's not really magic. Everybody has it, right? But who really wants to push and go to that next level? You know, who wants to take it to the next level? That's how you separate the unsuccessful from the massively successful. And so that's why we do this. I mean, that's why we do this every week, right? Because you got to keep shifting. It's a nonstop thing. You know, we have to shift. We have to go to the next level. You know, that's where we're at. So whatever you got, it's enough. Trust me, you got enough to get it. You got the will, put it in the universe. Start talking to people, right? Whatever you want to do, you know, put it out there. Nobody will never know unless you put it out there, right? You know, they say necessity is the mother of invention, right? I see so many people, business created by, you know, what people will call bad situations. But you respond is how you respond to them, you know. So always be in a responsive position, because responders think first, right? So use this. Hope you guys got something out of that. Hope there's something that you could take from it, something that made you move. I know I could tell a lot of y'all was laughing a lot from when I was talking about, you know, use what you got, you know, use what you got, you know, this part of what you got. So you use the mind more than the behind. But you know, I knew that was gonna make the ladies laugh, but yeah, but it's just a true statement. You know, we gotta use their mind. Anything you want to add, Sabrina?
It was perfect. I learned. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm full.
Cool.
Oh, maybe we can see if Queen Taisha can go over the membership packages.
How you doing, Miss Taisha?
Blessed family, blessed. Listen, y'all. I'm full. I'm full. Okay. I want better. I gotta do better. Listen, I know that touched everybody. Okay, listen. I know that you're being fed on these calls. I know y'all being fed. Listen, if you're not convicted and wanting to do better, then this call ain't for you. But since y'all keep coming back, okay, because you keep being fed, all right, invest in yourself by investing in one of these packages, okay? Listen, what they asking for, hey, they deserve so much more. And then the thing is, it's not even for them, it's for us, okay? Like she was mentioning in the beginning, this is going to the next level. This is about developing what we need as a people together, okay? Listen, wherever you feeling led, hey, if this free call if only this free call is working for you, then hey, keep coming for the free call. All right. Then we got another package. Okay. Master your community. Okay. Listen, it's time, y'all. That's the package I'm in. I must say, I'm in the $50 package. And listen, I appreciate these free calls, but I appreciate the work that I put in as letting you guys know what these packages about. I get a check every week, okay? And I'm so grateful for the seed that I'm able to sow and be able to receive from it, okay? And then we have Master Your Universe, all right? All right, listen, now that's the package I want to be in. I'm touching agreeing that God sent the funds for everybody to invest in themselves and invest in this development for us all, to be self-sustainable. Okay, not only for us on this call, but for our children. Listen, y'all. Listen, we all touch and agree that the funds are coming and we can all pay the $100 package. Okay, that's the one I want to be in. I don't want to be on here just telling y'all to invest. Listen, I want to be investing because listen, this works for me. This does it for me. This is generational wealth. This is making sure that our generations are being able to be self-sustainable because we do see what's going on now. All right, now we see a lot going on, what she was speaking about in the beginning. It's time for us to choose ourselves, invest in ourselves, really take ourselves serious, and come on. This is where you want to be. This is what's going to work for us all. I'm telling you, this message convicted me and fed me. I got to do better. I got to do my part. We can't keep sitting around pointing saying what somebody else doing, and whatever that little feeling on the inside of us that keep us from committing to ourselves and to this mission. Listen, I hope that something was being said on this call, and it make you want to invest in yourself, to invest in this land development, to invest in what's needed for our future. Listen, all right, because I'm gonna keep going. I feel it in my heart. I done received everything I need. I am full. Invest in yourself, all right? Invest in us. Bless it, y'all.
Yes, yes, yes. Much appreciated. Yeah. So, like Taisha said, look, we do these free classes, invite people, share it, go to the YouTube page, share the information. Just want to add value to your life. We just want to add value. That's why we do it. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And we will see you again 7:00 next Thursday. Let's do it.
Thank you.
Love y'all.
Love you.
Love you.
Bye.